What's up, guys? Tim Ruswick here. I wanted to make a video today specifically to talk about win-win situations because this is something I see a lot. And I made a video a while back about how competition is a good thing, but I don't really think I got the point across. So I wanted to kind of make a video to drive that point home because I think a lot of people misunderstood how competition is useful. So let me tell you a story about a guy that I worked with in my marketing company. He had an information product business. Basically, he would sell information products, digital products, coaching, that kind of thing. He was a life coach. So he helps people through difficult times in their lives. He helps them, get accountable and do whatever they need to do in life. Great guy, awesome guy. But he was terrified of this other guy that was doing similar stuff in the same business, in the same location, selling to the same people. And he had hired me to help him market and to help him solve the problem of his competitors. And I immediately noticed that something was up. Like, he had an unnecessary fear of competitors, right? Like, you shouldn't be scared of people anytime. He was like legit scared that this guy was going to steal all his business. So the thing I actually recommended him do, that it took a long time to convince him of this, but I actually convinced him to call up the competitor and meet with them. And all three of us sat down, and what we ended up devising that day was what's called a joint venture. And this guy's business tripled in 6 months because these two guys started working together. And what they realized that day, that I've seen work 1,000 times, I've seen it in so many different facets of life, is that a lot of people live in this scarcity mentality. They live in this concept that there is not enough to go around, right? So in like game development, if you're making a game and you see somebody that has a similar game, you're like, oh shit, they made my game, now I gotta quit. And I see this all the time. Like, so many people are like, oh, I was working on this thing, but then these guys came out with something similar, so I quit. Or, oh, I was building this thing, but it's too similar to that, so they stopped. What they don't realize is that, like, a lot of times you are not competing for a finite piece of the pie. The pie sometimes is infinite in the world. And like, you got to understand that, like, just because someone is doing something similar doesn't mean that they're taking business away from you. You got to look at it the other way, which is the abundance mindset, which is like, they can give you business. You guys are targeting the same people. You can work together. You can share customers, because no one does the same thing in the same exact way, right? Like, everybody has their own unique thing to offer. Like, if you look on other YouTubers, there's plenty of YouTubers that talk about game development, but they all do it in their own way, right? Like, I do it in my own way, in weird stories about my life and marketing company and lots of cuss words. Like, that's my way of doing it. And I realized early on, like, one of the first things that I did, especially when I started a YouTube channel, I reached out to all the YouTubers. I'm still reaching out to different people. I'm still trying to connect with people because I don't view these people as competition, right? And like, when I'm working on my game, I don't view other games that are similar to mine as competition. In fact, I think that is the #1 place where I can get players from. I have a game called Phalophobia coming out in February. And one of the main strategies for that game is going to actually be trying to get a hold of the creators of similar games and market out to their user base. So I want you to understand that, like, competition is a good thing. Like, not only from, like, not to rehash the whole competition video, but like, if there's competition, one, it means that there's a lot of demand for what you have, which is a good thing. It's validation of the market. It means that people want to buy what you have. But two, any competitor that you see, any similar game to yours, any game that's out there that looks similar, keep in mind that that game can be a source of players for you. You can see what they're doing with the marketing. You can see who's playing the game. You can go on Steam Spy and see how well it's doing, or App Annie, or whatever, depending on the platform. You can look up the statistics. You can go, you can reverse engineer how they're doing their website and all that. Like, you can learn from this. You can learn from this stuff. And you could target the YouTubers and streamers that play that game. You know what I mean? Like, competition is actually a blessing because it gives you, like, an insight into how the market might react to what you're creating, which is a good thing. When you're shooting completely in the dark, and like some indie games try and go like crazy innovative, which is awesome, but it also means it's crazy risky, right? And like, if you want to build a business out of something like this, you got to balance the risk with the reward. You can't just like go straight in there. And competition is one of the ways to do that. If you have competition, it means there's an existing market and there's demand for your product. There's a demand for your game. So it's a good thing. And I want to talk about specifically like these win-win situations, because if you see somebody similar to you or that has a game similar to yours, you need to think in win-win. How can I win while he wins? Because what a lot of people think is that in order for them to win, the other guy's got to lose. Or in order for that guy to win, I got to lose. So just try and reframe your brain into thinking about how things actually work. It's not win-lose. You got to think in terms of win-win. You got to think in terms of how can I succeed while helping this guy succeed. And a lot of people are scared to like make these connections and reach out, but like I've made so many connections in my life by just promoting someone's stuff, especially competitors, man. Competitors, like, they freak out when you just promote their stuff. You say, hey, this was a great article, hey, this was a great whatever, and you'd be surprised. And not only that, but like, let's say you're building an audience on Twitter or something. It's hard to write all that content all day, right? And if there's a game similar to yours that you know your audience will like, push them to that game. Tell them to check it out. Tell them how awesome it is. It does not take away sales from you. It is not them winning and you losing. It's win-win. You can build a relationship with these people. You can, work some kind of thing out. And I guarantee you, if these people are human and they see you tweeting about their stuff, they're probably going to return the favor. It happens all the time. And it just bums me out because I see so many people that are afraid of competition. They're afraid of what happens when someone creates something similar. And I just want to say to you that, like, there is more money out there than you could possibly imagine. There are more players out there than you could possibly imagine. There's an unlimited amount of people. You just have to find them. And competition is beautiful because it allows you to find them so much more easier. Like, it's right there. If someone makes a similar game to yours, there's your target market sitting right there. They're all there. They're all in the Steam reviews. They're all in the email list. They're all in the, they're right there. They're in the Facebook group. Like, just keep that in mind, man. And don't think in terms of, like, people having to lose for you to win. Like, just understand that, like, everybody can win at the same time. And reach out to the people that have competing games, right? Because you're not really competing. Reach out to those people. Talk to them. Ask them if they learned anything. Tell them what you learned on the way. Work with them. It's just a better way to live. So, weird message today, but it was on my mind and I wanted to share it. So, that's all I got. If you have any comments on this, please leave them below. I love to start a discussion about this stuff. What do you think about competition? Good, bad, evil? Tell me what you think below. But until next time, once again, I'm Tim Ruswick. See you guys then.